Hi everyone, my big idea I chose was Title IX and female athletes, opening doors to equality in sport. Okay, so Title IX changed the American sports normalities by creating access, resources, and opportunities for female athletes, which shaped a new participation pattern in athletics. More and more women were able to express their competition openly instead of having to do it behind closed doors after this was pushed forward. Some background information: it was passed in 1972 to prohibit sex-based discrimination in educational programs receiving federal funding. It was not originally written about sport, but athletics became its most visible impact. Legislatures aimed to ensure equal access to opportunity, participation, and resources. So Title IX mandates equal opportunity regardless of sex in federally funded education programs. Now this was really huge for my mom's time because none of them were treated right, so the women would have like really old uniforms, the men had the brand new uniforms, and when this was passed, my mom was born. So they started to progress over the years, but even when she was young and they wanted to do any type of sporting, it was still very new. But this, it's affected everyone, but definitely my mom's age and before. And she told me a lot of stories about how they were still not treated equally, but now for me, when I played basketball and volleyball and softball, we were treated very fairly, and we'd get new uniforms every other year with the guys. And another huge thing that I noticed is we would switch times when we were able to be in the gym for practice. So it wasn't like only the guys got to go after school. It would be like we'd have morning practice if they had evening, or we'd have evening if they had morning, vice versa. And I can definitely see how this act has affected us because we were treated equally and got to compete just like them. So again, just reiterating from that, high school female athletes increased from about 300,000 in 1972 to over 3.4 million. So that is a really huge jump, obviously, and it's really cool to think about how we are a part of it. And it's still growing every day, especially in different sports that people think are more male dominated, as women are starting to be able to kind of try those out as well, which is really cool. College sports saw a comparable rise, 15% to 44% in women's participation. The growth actually resulted in greater scholarships, facility access, and coaching support. So this is another example that I have near and dear to my heart because I was able to play in college with scholarship, and not everyone obviously gets the opportunity, but now more than ever you're going to see a lot more women being able to play, even like getting their tuition paid for. And back in my mom's day, I mean, that wasn't even an idea to throw out, so it's really cool to think about how we've grown with more support there. And even so, women still are underrepresented in coaching and athletic, but it's definitely growing. And also the media coverage, women's sports definitely remains under 10% of total broadcast, but I'm hoping that will rise in the new coming years. Female athletes actually increased more than tenfold after Title IX, and that will always grow, hopefully, in the future. That is the main goal. And these are my references that I used for this presentation. Thank you. Have a good day.